Trump's tariffs have already wiped out tax bill savings for average Americans. President Donald Trump's trade wars have already wiped out all but $100 of the average American household's windfall from Trump's 2017 tax law. And that's just that last $100 in tax cut gains could soon completely disappear, and then some, because of additional tariffs Trump has announced. If the president subtract the tax cut, and the average household will effectively be paying about $3,000 more in taxes through additional levies on the products they consume. It's giving with one hand and taking with the other, said Kim Clausing, an economics professor at Reed College in Portland, Oregon, who has written a book promoting free trade. Here's how the math works. Middle earners add in the additional tariffs on another $300 billion in Chinese goods that Trump proposed in May, and that increases the cost for the average family of four to about $2,294 annually, according to research from Tariffs Hurt the Heartland, a coalition of business groups that oppose tariffs. Trump has also threatened to levy tariffs on all imports from Mexico, starting with a 5% tax beginning as soon as Monday that would increase monthly to 25% by October. If the tariffs reach the full force of the Chinese and Mexican tariffs, and subsequent retaliation would mean that consumers are paying an additional $3,994 because of tariffs, more than 4 times the $930 tax cut for middle earners that the Republican Party touts as its signature legislative achievement. The tariffs are clearly
raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.